Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're here for the first time. If you're new around here, my name is Sarah. I'm a certified life and business coach. I help heart centered service providers, spiritual practitioners, and creatives build the lives and businesses of their dreams. And today I'm coming to you from my bed because I literally just could not be bothered to get up and work from my office today. So we're working from here, and I am in a major, like, I don't feel like it. And the only way that I could convince myself to do my live of the day was to do it from right here. And what better topic to discuss when I'm feeling this way than the fact that it is January 30th, which means statistically 43% of people have already quit on whatever their goal was for the new year. So I just wanted to do a check in. It's January 30th. Where are you at? Where are you at? Are you doing the thing that you said you would do? Are you making the changes you said you would make? Are you sticking to the things that you said you were going to stick to? Are you in the 43% of people who have already forgotten about your New Year's resolution? Or are you in the rest of the people? I can't math on how much math that is. I'm not even going to try. The more than that group of people who are sticking with it. So this is going to keep happening, right? The dip is going to keep happening by the end of the year. Statistically, there will only be 9% of us that are still going strong on our resolutions. And if you are in that group, you're like, I'm still going strong. Don't look back. I'm doing my thing. Congratulations. Good for you. You can check out now because high five. You're done. I have nothing else for you. But if you've already started slipping, if you have missed some days this week, if you started missing it 2 weeks ago, hang out for a second. Let's just have a quick chat. How you feeling? Are you okay? Are you bummed? Are you feeling disappointed in yourself? Have you already decided that it doesn't really matter and that the goal was stupid anyway? Just like, where are you at? Are you beating yourself up? Are you being hard on yourself? If you're beating yourself up and being hard on yourself, I want to invite you to just let that go, because that's not going to help you with anything. It's not going to help you if you decide that you want to get back on track with the resolution. And it's not going to help you if you decide that the resolution isn't that important to you. You don't need to be upset with yourself anyway. You can just let it go. So absolve yourself. It's fine. You're in great company. 43% of people are with you, and some of them have got to be lovely people. So it's probably fine. So next, is that goal really important to you? Sometimes we just make resolutions because it's the day of the year that people do that and we feel like we're supposed to, but like the thing that we're resolving to do, we don't have like a lot of passion or fire behind. We don't really have a big why for it. So if you are feeling like, hey, you know what? It turns out like I made a resolution just to make a resolution, or like I set a goal just to set a goal, but I don't like really have a lot of fire about reaching this goal right now. It's not really that important to me. What would happen if you let it go in good conscience, in a way that doesn't make you need to beat yourself up or feel like you failed, but just to say, I spoke too soon. I made this goal before it's time. Because goals tend to work best. We tend to reach our goals more, we tend to be more likely to reach them when they're attached to something we really want and something that's really important to us and something that we have a big why behind. And in the absence of that, on the days when it's hard and we don't feel like it, we probably just won't. And that's where we fall off. So I want to invite you to let go of anything that actually felt pressured to make or misaligned. Maybe you don't need to. But if it was really important to you and you still have had difficulty implementing, here are some questions that you can ask yourself. Number one, was I being too ambitious? Did I set too big of a chunk of this goal? Like, if it was a movement goal, maybe your goal was, I'm going to, you know, do a workout 6 days a week. But what was more realistic for you might have been like some type of gentle daily movement, doesn't matter what it is, or I'm going to go for a walk in the mornings on weekdays. Like maybe what you asked of yourself was unrealistic for where you actually were when you started? If so, does the goal, does the daily task or the regular piece of doing attached to this goal need to be broken down smaller so that you can try it with a new increment? Definitely check out my previous video about the art of underdoing it. I will try to link it below. So, was I too ambitious? Is one question you can ask yourself. What was the challenge? What was the struggle that made me fall off? That can be the next question that you ask yourself. And just be really honest. Was it a lack of setting a system? Was it about not having a schedule? Was it about, I thought I was going to be able to do this in the afternoon, but my kids are really loud in the afternoon. Turns out I can't do it in the afternoon. Or I wanted to do this thing, but in order to do it, I need an area of my house set up a certain way. And I haven't done that yet. Like, what was it that caused this not to work? I thought I could do this on my lunch break, but it turns out that doesn't really work. And I haven't found a better time. What was it? What caused it to fall off? The more clear you can get about what isn't working, the more data that is about what might you try next, right? You just get to try again. So if it was about, I tried to do it on my lunch break at work and it turns out that's not working, we don't stop there. We say, okay, that's great information. That doesn't mean I failed. And that doesn't mean this thing is impossible. It just means at work at my lunch break is not the time we're going to be doing it. So I'm going to have to switch it around and try something different. So now that you know what didn't work, what could you try next that might fix that problem, that might address that limitation, that setback, and give you a better chance of having it stick? And then maybe set a reassessment date. So today's January 30th, you've fallen off. Look, also, another question you could ask is, when did I fall off? Did I fall off day 10? Did I fall off day 3? Did I fall off day 23? Where did it happen? And if you can tap into that, then you can set a check-in date for right around where that point will hit again. So if it was 12 days in, then 12 days from now, set another check-in to reassess how you're doing and give yourself these regular interval checkpoints with how you're doing on keeping your goals. One thing that's really important, I think, is gathering data about yourself. So rather than giving yourself like these assignments where everything is pass fail, and if you don't do it exactly the way you said you were going to do it the first time, then you did bad or it didn't work. Going into this, like, this is an experiment. I'm trying something new. And of course, because I've never done this new thing before, I don't know exactly how it's going to work. So here's how I'm going to try it. And I'm going to try it like this for 21 days, 30 days, 31 days, 2 weeks, whatever. For this long, I'm going to try it like this. And I'm going to really gather a lot of data about how it's going, how I feel, what my experience is, what my challenges are, what's working, what's not working. And then I'm going to check back in and decide, do I keep it or do I change it? And the more we can go into anything with a willingness to experiment until we find something that works for us, the more we increase our likelihood of making it to the end. The next thing I want to suggest is be gentler with yourself if you miss a day or if you slip a little bit, right? We always want to walk that fine line between, we don't want to be like overly indulgent with ourselves to the point where we're like, oh, it's okay that you missed a day. And then that day turns into months and then you gave up on your goal. But we also don't want to be so hard on ourselves that one missed day becomes a big emotional deal that compounds and makes us not want to keep going, because that does turn into the other scenario soon enough. Whereas if you can be like, hey, it's fine, missed a day, I'm back on tomorrow or the next day that I'm scheduled to do this thing, not a big deal. I'm just going to keep going and keep collecting the data. I may have used this example once before, but I used to get really hung up on if I was on some type of challenge or a program, or even I play piano. And when I was a kid, when I would play piano, if I would make a mistake, I would stop and go back to the beginning. I was very determined to make it from the beginning to the end with no mistakes. But what I was training myself to do was stop every time I made a mistake. And my teachers would always be like, slow down, play through the mistakes slowly and make it all the way till the end and then start again. Don't train yourself to stop. And as an adult, I would find like I did a 12-week weightlifting program, and if I would miss a day, my desire and temptation would be like, well, I have to start over now. Like I have to do it perfectly from the beginning. And when I pushed myself to keep going all 12 weeks and just write down that I missed a day just to track the lapses, I was able to gather this data that told me that out of 12 weeks, the day that I missed the most often was Thursdays. And it let me know that there's something about a Thursday that makes it really hard for me to work out. I don't know, the energy of Thursday, maybe it's because I take Friday off. So Thursday feels like my Friday. Maybe I feel tired. I tend to like front load my week. So Thursday is a really chill day a lot of the time. There was something about Thursdays where I regularly didn't get it in. And that information allowed me to learn this thing about myself that was really informative. It also allowed me to restructure my next 12 weeks of workouts so that I didn't work out on Thursdays. I just moved things around and made it not a big deal that I was always missing Thursdays. And I wouldn't have been able to understand this trend about myself if I had not allowed myself to collect this much data. What I've also figured out in a similar fashion, looking over my workflow for the year, is that September is the Thursday of the year. Can't explain it. If you're neurodivergent, you understand. And I also tend to not get a lot done in September. There's something about a Thursday vibe that your girl just doesn't like doing work on. And so I need to take that into account about myself and structure the time around that period so that I am okay and that it's not that big a deal. But the only way to get that information is to keep going and track data over a longer period of time so that a trend can emerge, and using that to understand yourself better and set yourself up for success rather than to beat yourself up. So, those are just a handful of little tips. My last one is enlist some accountability. If you don't have support on this goal, if you don't have a buddy doing it with you, if you don't have a coach, if you don't have a therapist, if you don't have a friend that you can, that you've already enlisted to help you keep on track and help you reach this goal, get that support. Just be kind to yourself and recognize that trying to do it alone is not working well for you, and that you're going to need more, that you need other people, that you need someone checking in with you, asking you questions, sticking it out with you. In the case of coaching, a lot of times it's having someone there so that when you're having a big emotional reaction that would usually shut you down, you have someone to coach you through that moment so that you don't shut down. That's invaluable. And so even if it requires investing a little bit to get some support. If it's something you can't do with a buddy, invest and get that support. You are worth it. Your goals are worth it. Your success is always, always, always worth it. You are your biggest asset. So invest in yourself and in your dreams and in the things that are important to you. That's how you're going to get to wherever it is that you're trying to get to. So there you go. I hope that this was helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments. Are you sticking with it? Are you still on your New Year's goals, or have you fallen off? And if you fell off, what of the suggestions that I made are you going to implement to get back on? Okay, love you. Bye.